Okay, so Hoshin Kanri. Gotta admit, when you suggested this for our deep dive, I kind of thought, Hoshin what now? Sounded a little like, I don't know, some ancient secret martial art or something.
Well, it's definitely a practice, that's for sure.
But the more I read, the more I realized this Hoshin Kanri, it's like a secret weapon for success. And not just for businesses, but for, well, anything you want to achieve.
Exactly. It's about bridging that gap we all experience, that space between our big dreams, those someday aspirations, and what we're actually doing day to day to make them happen.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm a master of the someday list. This deep dive is about turning those somedays into right nows, isn't it?
You got it. Imagine you've got this goal, right? Could be a team project, maybe a personal goal, anything, and everything just clicks. Everyone knows the why, the what, the how. It all just flows. That's Hoshin Kanri in action.
Okay, now you're talking my language. But here's where I usually get tripped up. Planning. Love the idea. But too often those plans end up, well, gathering dust.
And that's what's so different about Hoshin Kanri. It really is about the journey as much as the destination. Like Eisenhower talked about a guy who knew a thing or two about strategy, right? He once said, "In preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable."
Man, I love that quote. So it's the process of planning, the act of thinking it through, that's the real key.
Absolutely. When you plan, you're forced to define your goals clearly. You start anticipating obstacles, thinking about how to navigate around them, which naturally makes you more adaptable, right? Less rigid, more ready to pivot when you need to.
So it's not about clinging to some rigid blueprint, but about cultivating a strategic mindset. Okay, I'm with you. But how does Hoshin Kanri actually help us do that? Where do we even begin?
It all starts with this idea of policy deployment. Sounds fancy, but it really just means ensuring your actions are guided by that big picture vision. And the really cool part, this isn't just some abstract business theory, it's directly connected to basic human needs.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Human needs, you say.
Think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That pyramid. Starts with the basics at the bottom, food, shelter. Then as you move up, you hit self-actualization at the top. Well, organizations, even in your personal life, you could argue that they have needs too.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
So at the base of this organizational pyramid, you've got the core vision, the foundation for everything. Then as you move up, there's alignment. Everyone's on the same page, rowing in the same direction.
Because if everyone on a rowing team is rowing at their own pace, you're going nowhere fast.
Exactly. And then you've got self-diagnosis, taking a good hard look at your strengths, your weaknesses, being honest. And then there's process management, figuring out the best ways to get things done. And finally, at the top, we have target focus, that laser focus on achieving those objectives. But it's all connected.
So you can't reach that peak performance, that target focus, without making sure all those other levels are solid. Kind of like you wouldn't start building a house from the roof down, right?
Exactly. Now imagine trying to build anything, a house, a business. Without that solid foundation, it's going to be chaotic, and the end result, well, let's just say it might not be pretty. And that's where the 6 steps of Hoshin Kanri come in.
6 steps, huh? Okay, you've got my attention. Laying foundations, building something great. I'm ready. Where do we start?
Blueprint. We need a blueprint. Remember that 5-year vision we were talking about? That's step 1. Picture yourself 5 years from now. What does success look like? Get specific.
Okay, 5 years from now. Let's see. If I were using Hoshin Kanri for myself, that vision board would definitely include finishing that book I've always wanted to write, and maybe finally learning how to play the guitar.
I love it. Now, step 2, we take that big vision, that 5-year plan, and break it down into a 1-year plan. What are the actionable steps you can take this year to move closer to those goals?
So it's about taking those huge, maybe a little intimidating goals and breaking them down into smaller, more manageable milestones. So instead of write a book, it's finish a chapter outlined by next month, write 500 words a day, something like that.
Now you're getting it. Steps 3 and 4. This is where we take that plan and put it into action. And communication is key here. Imagine trying to build a house, but no one knows who's bringing the lumber, who's laying the foundation. Total chaos.
Oh yeah, recipe for disaster right there.
Yeah.
So for my book writing goal, this is where I'd be looping in my accountability buddy, maybe even joining a writing group, setting reminders in my calendar, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate those wins along the way. Recognizing even those small victories, it keeps the momentum going, keeps everyone motivated, especially yourself.
Oh, I am all about celebrating the wins.
Yeah.
Especially with a system like Hoshin Kanri, where we're in it for the long haul. Which brings us to steps 5 and 6. I'm guessing this is about making sure we stay on course.
Right on. Steps 5 and 6 are all about those regular check-ins. Think monthly reviews, annual reviews. It's a chance to hit pause, look back at what's working, what might need some tweaking, and ensure you're still aligned with that original vision you set for yourself.
It's like having a built-in course correction system. So instead of waking up at the end of the year and realizing you're miles off course, you've got these checkpoints along the way.
Exactly. And here's a little pro tip. Imagine a simple dashboard. Maybe you're a visual person. This dashboard, it's like a fitness tracker, but for your goals. You can actually see how those smaller actions are contributing to your larger objectives. Helps you stay motivated, make adjustments as needed.
You mentioned this thing called catchball earlier, and I have to admit it sounds kind of sporty for a goal-setting strategy.
The name's a little different, I grant you that, but trust me, it's a game changer. So with Catchball, picture this. You're not just handed a plan from above and told, make it happen. It's a two-way street. Ideas are flowing up, down, across the organization, or even just between you and your accountability buddy.
So instead of a one-way street, it's a dynamic conversation. Everyone gets a voice, everyone contributes.
Exactly. Think about a time you were in a group setting and you felt truly heard. Empowering, right? You're invested in the outcome because you've been part of shaping it from the ground up. That's Catchball in a nutshell.
Oh, I can see how that would lead to some seriously creative solutions. And it fosters that sense of ownership over the goals, which honestly is what makes or breaks any plan in the long run, wouldn't you say?
100%. We're far more likely to stick with something, see it through, when it feels like we have a say in how it unfolds. And that's one of the less talked about benefits of Hoshin Kanri. It's more than just a planning tool. It's about building engagement, motivation, collaboration. It's pretty powerful stuff.
When we started this deep dive, I was thinking Hoshin Kanri, another one of those business buzzwords. But this is so much more than that. This is like, I don't know, it's empowering. It's about taking control, right? Taking control of your own destiny, whether it's in the boardroom or, heck, even just in your own living room.
And that's what I think is so cool about it. You don't have to be a CEO. You don't have to be some kind of master strategist to actually use this. You can apply these principles right now, today, wherever you are in your life, whatever you're trying to achieve.
That's what I love about these deep dives.
Yeah.
We uncover these really cool ideas, these powerful concepts. And it's like, wait, I can actually use this in my own life.
Yeah.
So for someone listening right now, maybe they're thinking, okay, Hoshin Kanri sounds great, but where do I even begin? What would you tell them?
I always say start simple. Think of one thing, just one thing you really want to achieve. Could be anything, right? Learning a new language, finally finishing that project that's been sitting on your desk for months. Even just, being more present with your family. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is, that's your 5-year vision. Write it down. Make it real.
Writing it down, got it. Honestly, I'm already feeling more focused just thinking about it.
Now, here's the thing. Break that vision down. What's one step, just one, that you can take this week, today even, to get a little bit closer to that goal? It doesn't have to be huge. It's those small steps that build the momentum.
And don't forget to celebrate those small wins. I mean, we were talking about this earlier, but those little celebrations along the way, those are like rocket fuel. Keep you motivated, help you stay positive, especially when things get tough.
Yeah, you got to enjoy the process too, right? And remember, Hoshin Kanri, it's not about being rigid. It's really about flexibility. It's about adapting. It's about that continuous improvement. So check in with yourself regularly. Are things working? Do we need to adjust? It's okay to course correct.
It's like we're giving our listeners a personalized GPS for their goals. Hoshin Kanri, that's the navigation system. Those check-ins, those are like recalibrating when you hit a detour. And those celebrations, well, those are like enjoying the scenery along the way.
I love that because it's a journey, right? And listen, the most important thing, never forget this, keep talking. Talk to your friends, your family, your colleagues, whoever it is in your life that supports you and encourages you. Because at the end of the day, success, well, it's always sweeter when it's shared.
I love that. And that, my friends, is a wrap on another deep dive. We hope this episode has inspired you to dream big, to think strategically. And remember, no goal is too ambitious if you break it down, stay flexible, and never, ever underestimate the power of taking those small steps. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.